Today, you can find many games with incredible graphics. They are great, but these games have some high-spec GPU requirements. Not sure which games to start with? Here's your chance when it comes to handing your computer a stack of weights and saying, pick it up. These punishing PC games will bring even powerful machines to their knees, but the spectacle is simply amazing. The Callisto Protocol is a single-player survival horror game that is remembered by many gamers for its sales failure. Take on the role of Jacob Lee, a victim of fate thrown into the Black Iron Prison. This is a maximum security prison located on Jupiter's moon, Callisto. Soon the prison descends into chaos as all the prisoners are transformed into monstrous creatures. Jacob must get out of the place, uncovering Callisto's disturbing secrets along the way. Despite the fact that the game is based on Unreal Engine 4, the graphics impressed me. Articulation and emotions look so realistic. Callisto Protocol is worth your attention because the graphics in this game are insane. Loopmancer is a 3D platformer roguelite action game with realistic graphics that takes place in a cyberpunk universe. The player takes control of a detective who is looking for a missing journalist. The protagonist is an expert in martial arts and various weapons. He is in a time loop, so after each death, he wakes up again in his apartment. Loopmancer is not as well known as the other games on my top list, but its colorful graphics put it rightfully on the same list as them. The PC version has appeared recently, but has already managed to win the hearts of RPG fans. The unusual setting and the combination of futurism and Scandinavian style made this game unique. The protagonist Aloy was expelled from her tribe. A young hunter struggles to discover her fate, uncover her past, and avert a threat to her future. Experience all the adventures of Aloy as she unravels the mysteries of a world ruled by deadly machines. Carry out devastating tactical attacks against unique machines and rival tribes as you explore an open world filled with danger. The map is divided into separate territories, each of which has its own climate and certain types of machines. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a large-scale and realistic RPG for high-spec PC. The player takes on the role of a blacksmith's son whose village has been burned down. As the sole survivor, Henry sets out on a journey to exact revenge on his family's killers and find his place in the world. The player will have to decide who Henry will be at the end. The game has maximum freedom of action. You can travel through an open world with large castles, dense forests, and endless fields. There are quests in the game, but you don't have to complete them. If you decide to go through the quest, you can use your imagination and go through it as you like. It's a really harsh world. You will constantly face difficulties because opponents are strong and you can die from one blow. The combat system is also not easy. At the start, the game received mixed reviews, but after a while it won the hearts of the public. Among the advantages, I want to mention realistic graphics, the pleasant atmosphere of the Middle Ages, and exciting battles. The Evil Within 2 is a survival horror game with action elements. Protagonist Detective Sebastian Castelnuovo lost his daughter Lily, and for a long time he has been trying to find a way to bring her back. Now the hero has to return to the nightmarish world of STEM and fight the monsters. As in the previous part, you have to explore the bleak locations and search for resources and ammunition. If you come face to face with the enemy, be prepared to see a horrible mess of different body parts and other unpleasant things. You are also expected to meet with various bosses. I liked the game's memorable story, crazy graphics, horror atmosphere, and quality soundtrack. Nier Automata is an extraordinary open-world action RPG. The Earth was invaded by aliens who began to destroy all life with the help of mechanical monsters. Thus ended the history of human civilization. But among the few survivors, there are people who are still able to wage war against the invaders. One of them is a pretty female warrior 2B with 2 swords. In this open-world game, you can go anywhere, but there's a 99% chance you won't come back alive. The game is hard like Dark Souls. In battle, you need to constantly dodge and make combos. Character boost is present, but it does not particularly affect the gameplay. To win, you need to deftly control the hero and anticipate the behavior of the enemy. Nier Automata is a dark but very nice game with a great combat system, quality design, and an atmospheric open world. If you are a fan of slasher games, I recommend Nier Automata for the walkthrough, but you need a high-spec PC to run the game. Final Fantasy XV is a third-person RPG set in the futuristic Final Fantasy universe. The game tells the story of Noctis Lucis Caelum, the heir apparent of the Kingdom of Lucis, and the possessor of eyes that can sense the death of other people. Join your friends on a journey across the open world and face huge monsters to reclaim your homeland from an unimaginable enemy. The game has a lot of advantages, but I want to focus on the incredibly dynamic combat system. Battles are spectacular due to the mobility of the heroes and their abilities. You can fight using edged weapons or magic. Get ready to be in the middle of the most exciting fantasy adventure. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom is an action RPG game. The story revolves around a young King Evan who has been banished from his own kingdom. Seeking revenge on the traitors, he embarks on a journey to join forces in the face of an impending threat. The gameplay is divided into several stages. You can build structures in your kingdom and relocate residents there. They will work for you and bring benefits, for example, extracting resources from the sawmill. In your free time away from building, you could take off on adventures and fight monsters. Faithful allies with different abilities will help you. There is a lot of trivia in the game. The experimental mechanics have been a success with players, and they note that Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom is a good and vibrant game with varied gameplay. Players go back to Middle-earth and continue the story of Talion, who raised a rebellion in Mordor. The sequel has noticeably increased the scale of action. You are now allowed to control an entire army and capture enemy castles. The Nemesis system has also been improved. Now the orcs under your control can betray you at any time, for example, during a battle. Enemies also adapt to the player's fighting style, and in the next encounters, they no longer seem so easy. There is also an advanced system of customization, the ability to ride a dragon, beautiful graphics, and a great atmosphere of Middle-earth. Even if you are not familiar with the Lord of the Rings universe, you will still remember the game as a great RPG. The story of demon hunters Nero and Danta, who once again go to the city where evil creatures have appeared. The company is joined by a third mysterious hunter, V, who has the ability to summon demonic creatures. Devil May Cry 5 is a cool action game in the style of old games, but with great cinematic graphics and a lot of new game mechanics. You can play as 3 characters to learn the story from different angles. The heroes have a lot of artifacts and tricks, and among the monsters you will see both weak henchmen and giant bosses. I like this game mainly for the mind-blowing gameplay, spiced up with fast-paced music tracks. If you know of other interesting games, feel free to leave any comments here. If you liked this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel.